Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 106 of Daisy Knits. I'm Daisy. We're hanging out here in the floor of my schoolroom. I have a little co-host who hopefully will sleep through this, and we are going to get this party started with some finished objects, shall we? First off, I finished my chaos socks. These bad boys are done, and I love them. So they're just some simple socks. It has a little lace panel on both sides. They're mirrored. I did do them cuffed down with an actual heel flap. I decided to go with my garter heel flap. I just prefer that. And then I did a Dutch heel turn. That's my preference. Simple socks. I actually had a decent chunk of yarn left over. We'll see what this yarn becomes as time goes on, but I had a pretty decent chunk. So the yarn is from North Cabin Fiber Crafts. It's Lori. In my brain, I have the hardest time remembering that. I'm like, it's Lori, you know, Lori from Alaska. So I got this yarn from Knittin' in the Mitten 2016. So I feel really good because I also used stash yarn that had been over a year old. Go me! I used up stuff out of my stash. So that's my knitting. I also have a finished crochet project. Do you guys see this bad boy? Woo! My movie night Cocoon Cardigan is finished as well. I told y'all last week I was really kind of getting tired of this. I wanted to just be done, which is not really a good thing to say, but I think everybody's had those moments where you want the finished product, you're done with it. So it is huge. This is it folded in half. So basically you just make a giant granny square. It's a free pattern, so I'm not giving the secret sauce away, but a rough thing. You seam up a side, you put an arm cuff on. Here's my arm cuff. And then you put a body cuff on. You go around the whole interior. I kind of think of it like a button band that goes all the way around. So there is a picture of me wearing this in my projects page if you're interested. It is huge. I weighed it and there's 560 grams in this thing. It's massive. So a conservative estimation is 2,200 yards, I think is what I figured out, really, in this blanket slash cardigan. Because it really was like a blanket at first in my lovely Cocoon Cardigan. It's done. So, my knitting done, crochet done, and spinning. I have finished spinning as well. I showed this to you probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's from Rock and String. It is the Roy G. Biv, there we go, gradient colorway. And I had just spun a giant single and then Navajo chain plied it. So you can tell I don't have the most consistent spinning. I don't strive to have the perfect spinning. I spin for relaxation. I just spin for the fun of spinning. To me, a finished skein is that. I'm done with it. I love just to spin that. So I'm not one of those people that probably will ever get to the point where I have like this frog lace weight yarn. I don't have that. But what I do have is probably a light worsted skein of squishy yumminess. So, hubby saw this yesterday and promptly went, ooh, that's nice. So, I'm not sure what it's going to grow up to become. I'm kind of thinking maybe a hat. I don't think I even have a full 200 yards here. It's pretty light in the yardage. But I'm kind of thinking maybe I could do a top-down hat and just go the full color with a nice long fold-up brim. It's kind of what I'm thinking I might try to do with this. See that? Look at those colors, though. They're perfect. I love these. So, this is my finished spinning. At the moment, I have nothing on my needles. If you're on Instagram with me, you saw that my Master Knitter box came back on Tuesday, and I have a fair chunk of work to do. So I have to redo, I think, 9 swatches. I need to redo the wristlet. The Ravel wristlet has to be redone. I need to do a sample of my argyle again. And on my tee, my arm ribbing has to be ripped out and redone. So I'm a little frustrated with myself on that one. Personally, I knew when I knit it, it flared, but I followed the pattern. And I should have just noted that the pattern was not a good fit for my yarn and just said, no, I'm not going to follow the pattern, but I was true to the pattern. And so now I have to redo my arm ribbing because it does. You can see it flares. You can tell when I'm wearing it. You can see it when it's laid out. It flares. It just, there's too many stitches. So it is what it is. Live and learn. But I have a good chunk of work to do. I don't feel, in all honesty, I don't feel that they were harsh comments. I don't feel like my critique came back overly heavy or mean. Everything they said was true. If you really look at my swatches and you read what they say, they're right. So I have a few things wrong, and I just need to keep growing, keep learning. Ooh, that's hard, right? It's hard to say that it was not good enough, but I have actually already learned one thing given the comments that they told me. So I am going to keep working. And my first swatch is already knit. It's on the drying board right now, all pinned out, and I will have to seam that. So I'm hoping to get another one knit up this afternoon. But that's where Master Knitter is standing at right now. On the flip side, I'll also tell you my little slice of crazy pie, because the Olympics are coming. And for those of you who don't know, every Olympic year, there's what's called the Ravel Olympics. I'm not sure exactly how they term it now. To me, it's always going to be the Ravel Olympics. That's just how it is. Hang on a moment. Okay, as usual, something has gone haywire here. But anyways, I was saying every Olympic year on Ravelry, there's the Ravel Olympics. And the goal of that is to push yourself. The athletes are out there doing their best, and they're pushing themselves to go beyond their normal, to stretch themselves. And so the concept is you as a knitter, as a spinner, as a crocheter, to push yourself, to go beyond your normal, to see where your bar can be. And I've kind of done a little bit with the Olympics during the Olympic time of I'm going to finish these whips up, or I'm going to try to get, these 3 projects, or I'm going to do this pair of socks. But to be honest, a pair of socks in 16 days it's not really pushing myself. So this year, I've decided I'm going to kind of go big. And I pulled out my skein of Wollmeise. This is lace weight. It is a huge skein, and it has dog hair on it now because it's been sitting on the floor with me. But it's mine, so it's one of those things, life in my house some days. There's the tag. I am going to try to do a featherweight cardigan in this 16-day time period. I don't know if I can really do that or not. I won't lie. I have no idea if I can actually do that. Because a featherweight cardigan is not a small cardigan. It's a pretty good sized cardigan. And it's got full sleeves. I did also find this beautiful border neckband that I want to do, not just the simple one. So we're going to see how that goes. But that is my Ravel Olympics challenge. I decided I'm going to join Team Sasquatch, which I've already posted in there. I've joined up with Team Sasquatch, which it's a loose team. There are other Ravelry groups that have more strict rules, but I'm not for strict rules right now. I want kind of easy going because I feel like to make this into a cardigan is going to be a lot to do in 16 days. It's a giant slice of crazy pie. But If you have any goals that you're doing during the Olympics, come share with me, join with me, chat with me. If you don't, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Maybe consider it. If not, not even your cup of tea, that's fine too. But I'm kind of curious, does anybody else have these crazy goals? Anybody thinking about it? Anybody want to join me? So, I kind of have gone a little long, and I'm sorry. I just had a lot to share, and I wanted to get it all out there today. So I hope that you all have a great week. All my contact information is at the end. I will link Team Sasquatch in the Ravelry thread with this episode. Other than that, I'll talk to y'all next week, I guess. See ya!